analysis, and commentary on the #1 combat sport in the world. And of course, you can't forget the Conor McGregor Tweet of the Week, found only on the Beatdown on Blaze Radio.
Hello and welcome back here to downtown Phoenix, Arizona, here in the Bill Austin Radio Studio. My name's Ashton Sharon here alongside Will Anderson and Dominic Pasalic. Guys, big result here in Kansas. They lose 14-24. Kansas State does to Arizona State. Second half, though, was a little bit better. Actually, a lot better for Kansas State. What did you see out of Kansas State, and what do you think momentum-wise they can have going forward?
For Arizona State, I was seeing glimpses of that Mississippi State game, allowing the other team to come back after a blowout. It was a little concerning, but, I mean, Kansas State, they fought. Giddens finally found his feet, finished with 133 yards, a 45-yard run off 14 attempts, 9.5 yards a carry. He was a dog out there today, and I think that running game, finally bouncing it outside and trying to stop running it up the gut against that D-line, once they figured out how to get it to the outside, I feel like that's where Kansas State started to cook.
Yeah, and the defense started playing different types of coverages, especially when it was Kansas State's turn to really turn it on. Started playing a lot more soft coverage, have everything underneath you, kind of kill some clock. And, Kenny Dillingham, it was kind of, for most people, it was concerning. Why is he taking so many penalties? Why is there so much stuff happening, especially on that interesting little fourth down play there? But everything ended up working out, chewed a ton of clock, and then obviously that forced Avery Johnson into a tough situation, threw a ball to nobody but the defender in the ASU defender, and that's what ended up losing this game for Kansas State.
Yeah, but, I think for Kansas State, there are some positives, especially with the way that they played that second half, right? You saw Avery Johnson. He played a little bit better in that second half. They've started to turn it up. DJ Giddens, as you mentioned earlier, Dom, he was finding his footing, right? And if only they had this from the beginning of the game, they may have come back, they may have won. But I think there are positives for them, right? When they started to switch up their defense, they had a lot more success, right? They held Levitt, they held Scadaboo, and that is exactly what you needed to see. Defensively, they were switching to a lot more cover 3, a lot more cover 2. They were playing man coverage a lot more, and that was really throwing ASU here for a loop, right? Because what did they want? They wanted Jordan Tyson in the pass game. And when you take away Jordan Tyson in the pass game with these cover 2 shows, with these man coverage with help on slants or in breaking routes, it's going to be really tough for Sam Levitt to really adjust and find someone else, and that's kind of what we saw. So Kansas State, they did have a lot of positive things going for them. On the other side, though, for ASU, who was one guy that really stood out for each of you?
Today was the Jordan Tyson show. 176 yards off 12 receptions, 2 touchdowns, and he had the 41-yard catch, excuse me. He was the guy today. No other ASU wide receiver had more than 20 receiving yards. Scadaboo had the 44, but he's a running back. So I would say it was Tyson's day.
Yeah, and for me, stop me if you've heard this before, Cameron Scadaboo was clutch. Didn't have a ton of breakaway runs, stuff that we've seen in the past. Only 73 yards on 25 attempts, 2.9 average yards per carry. But what he was doing was converting third down plays. What he was doing was getting them into better range for a third and short, second and short, making those scenarios not as hard on Sam Levitt. And we saw Sam Levitt was absolutely amazing on third down tonight. It seemed that they almost wanted to get to third down because that's when Levitt shined. But Cam Scadaboo, even though he didn't have these big breakaway plays like we've seen him in the past, he did a lot of clutch things. And I just really wanted to point out Parker Lewis, 47-yard field goal. Shout out to him. That ball was good from probably 60. Absolute booming kick. Got it through. Ended up being huge for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Levitt would be my guy here, right? Obviously, we know he had a great day today, but Sam Levitt here, according to Pro Football Focus, has been the second best quarterback in the Big 12, and he showed it here tonight, right? He's been the 19th best overall offensive grade for a quarterback in the FBS. I mean, that is pretty incredible considering this guy is a redshirt freshman quarterback, right? His first season as a starter. He's 9th among FBS freshman quarterbacks that have played at least 500 snaps in the last 10 years of Pro Football Focus rankings, right? And hear me out here, then this is crazy. I don't think I've really ever seen this. Under pressure and when he gets blitzed, he performs better. And that, I think, is a testament to him and Arroyo and this coaching staff.
Yeah, and going back to what you were saying, Will, about the special teams, those field goals, Lewis earned himself a spot on the team. Kicking has been something that's been so up in the air for Kenny Dillingham and the squad this year. Hit that one from 47, like you said, could be up from 60. And Chris Tennant of Kansas State, we were gassing up the fact that Kansas State was third in the Big 12 when it comes to field goal percentage. Couldn't make it tonight. 0 for 1 from only 36 yards when it really mattered. 2 minutes left in the game. That was clutch time, and he wasn't built for the pressure, obviously.
Now, bad snap, bad hold, that's going to turn into a bad kick, and that's what ended up happening. You know, we saw that you got to be built for these big-time moments. You can't always control everything. You control what you control. Ended up being a bad kick. It obviously ended for Kansas State in a bad way, but we'll take a quick break here. We'll come back. Blaze Radio talking ASU, Kansas State. Arizona State wins 24-14.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Did you miss the big game? Are you a little behind in the world of sports?
No worries, because here at Both Sides of the Ball, we cover everything you need to know every week within the sports world.
That's right. We don't just cover the scores. We take a deeper look into all the behind-the-scenes, team drama, and everything in between.
So stop by every Thursday at 3 p.m. to hear
Both sides of the ball.
While others are sleeping, we're up late covering all of your sports news. The NFL, NBA, WNBA, NHL, MLB, Champions League, college sports, and more. The Breakdown After Dark is there for all of your sports needs. Get a pillow, tuck yourself in, and tune in on Tuesday nights from 10:30 to 11:30 p.m. for The Breakdown After Dark.
Tune in to Broadway 101 on Blaze Radio. Join us every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Arizona time as we explore the world of musical theater, from timeless classics to the latest hits.
We also cover live shows at local theaters across the valley, bringing your views and insights into performances happening right in our community.
Whether you're a Broadway buff or just discovering your love for the stage, we have something for everyone.
Follow us on Instagram for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and more at Broadway 101 Radio.
Demon hours, demon hours, demon hours, demon hours, demon hours. Do you like all things spooky and paranormal? Join Grace Del Pizzo and Alexandra Zerboard for Demon Hours every Wednesday at 10 p.m.
Follow us on Twitter at Demon Hours ASU. We'll see you there.
Demon Hours, Demon Hours, Demon Hours, Demon Hours, Demon Hours.
The rise and fall of the Persian Empire, the history of shoelaces, the anatomy of a jellyfish, the difference between Portuguese and Portugal and Brazil. Have you ever wanted to take a deep dive on a topic like one of these, but just couldn't find the time or the means to do so? Hi, I'm DJ King, and on my show The Depths of Knowledge, I do a deep dive on similar topics every Monday from 3:30 to 4. So if you want to know more about the world around you, come join me in exploring the depths.
Now that I have your attention, do you like music? Do you like movies? Do you like weird stuff on the internet? Then we have just the show for you. My name's Alex.
My name's Dane.
And we're the hosts of the DNA podcast.
So if you like everything from new and old music to debates on the greatest breakfast foods of all time, join us every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on blazeradio.com.
We can't wait to see your beautiful faces, metaphorically speaking, because we can't see you.
We welcome you back here to the Bill Austin Radio Studio, talking ASU at Kansas State. Sun Devils get it done 24-14 over the Wildcats. And, you know, a big part of this game was going to be how did this ASU defense shut down the Kansas State Wildcats, just high-flying offense? Well, no fly zone. Shamari Simmons and Xavier Alford both catch a huge interception off of Avery Johnson. What do you think?
You know, this is a team, Kansas State, 5 trips to the red zone, only scored twice, 14 red zone points, the same as ASU, but they had a lot more trips. ASU's defense was able to shut it down where it really mattered, inside the 20. I think that's a lot of what made the game, is being able to, give up some yards. That's what we've seen in Kenny Dillingham's defense all season. They give up a lot of yards, but when it really matters in the nitty-gritty, in the red zone, they hold them.
Yeah, absolutely. And this defense really showed out. They had their struggles a little bit in that second half, but to only give up 14 points to the number 16 ranked team in the country, I mean, all props to them, right? Defense coordinator Brian Ward, he called a hell of a game today. And he should be proud of himself, and this team should be proud of themselves. And for Kansas State, look, they gave up 24 points. I don't think that says the whole story, right? I think they played relatively good defense. You know, in the first half, they just didn't have an answer for Sam Levitt, and sometimes that's just how it goes.
Yeah, this Kansas State team, 35.8 points per game at home before tonight, only getting 14. That is not ideal for him. but ASU was definitely able to do their thing.
Yeah, and then, there was a big, talking point, especially about this Sun Devils team. They went into Cincinnati, they lost. They went in to Texas Tech, and they lost. And, how was it going to go? Bill Snyder Family Field, one of the most intimidating environments. Kansas State, the best team at home in the Big 12 the past couple of years. And I think they threw that narrative completely off. They put up 24 points, 21 straight unanswered at the beginning of the game. And I think now everybody can say ASU does not need to be at home to win these big games.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of ASU beating a ranked team, you got to think that they're ranked now, right? Especially after what's happened today. South Carolina beating Missouri pretty much inevitably knocks them out with 3 losses. Stanford beat Louisville. They now have 4 losses, right? Those are just two of the ones that have happened. Right now, Kansas is beating BYU, and Arizona beat Kansas State. I believe there's one more that I'm forgetting as well, but Georgia is beating Tennessee right now, but that could definitely change and be a swing. But with all of these upsets that have been happening, I mean, what do you think?
Florida beating LSU.
Oh, yeah, Florida beating LSU is the last one. Where do you think ASU's ranked, and who do you think they get in ahead of?
I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, all right. Appreciate it. But look, there's probably 5 teams that are going to drop out. Iowa State's still playing. We don't know yet. BYU, they won't drop out, but if they lose, man, will they fall. Look, this is a team that I personally think they should be ranked in the lower half, perhaps, of the 10 to 20 range. I think realistically they're probably going to end up more 20 to 25. But I mean, their Tulane's probably going to go up, so you got to get them in there. South Carolina probably moves up close to the top 15. Clemson at 20 did not have a very convincing win over Pitt. Colorado destroyed Utah at home in Boulder. Probably going to get it to them. SMU pulled away from Boston College at the end there. Notre Dame at 8 didn't get a huge win over Virginia, but we know the committee loves Notre Dame. Number 3, Texas, not getting a big win. Ohio State obviously got it done against Northwestern. But look, this is an ASU team who has proven time and time again they can beat these good teams. Now they've beaten a good team on the road. I think there should be no question. These Sun Devils are ranked. Now the question is, where are they ranked?
I'd say they're taking Missouri's spot at 23. I see Army moving up. I see Tulane moving up a few spots, 35-0 against a good Navy team, probably the second best team in the conference. And I don't really know what to think of this conference. I mean, Washington State is still repping the Pac-12 at number 18. Definitely going to be interesting. Things are going to be shaken up, like you said, in that 20 to 25 range. And I think we'll see the Sun Devils in there for sure.
Yeah, I think Colorado will move up to about top 15. I think Clemson, believe it or not, I think they're going to jump up about 1 spot here to 19. They'll take Louisville's spot. I do see South Carolina jumping up to probably about 17, 18. Right? I could see Army jumping up to around 20 and Tulane right near there too, maybe 20, 21. I think ASU, they're going to come in at about 22, right? I think that's a very fair spot. You put them there. I mean, you could figure out exactly, how you want. If you still want to keep LSU in, you can. If you still want to keep Missouri in, you can. Do I think that there are more deserving teams that should go in? Absolutely. But that is just kind of a little bit of flexibility that you have there. You could even keep Kansas State in if you absolutely need to at 25. But I think ASU should absolutely get ranked, and I could see them being 20 to 22.
I don't see Kansas State completely falling out of the rankings. They beat probably a team that was 26th out of the top 25, just wasn't there yet. So they are going to fall into that 20-25 range. And being in the top 25, yes, that's great. But the thing that's going to get us to the next level, that college football playoff, is this conference. And right now, 4 minutes left in the first quarter, Kansas is holding a lead over BYU. And originally, I was kind of cheering for BYU to win the game because that would bring College Game Day to Tempe, but we've already seen that's going to be in Columbus, Ohio. So now we're seeing Kansas Jayhawks, can they get it done against BYU, drop them a little bit, and if the dice keep rolling and we keep winning, then I don't know, we could see Arizona State in the Big 12 championship, maybe a rematch against BYU, and who knows?
Yeah, the chips would have to fall in the right place. Colorado right now looks like the scariest team in the Big 12. We've seen BYU should have lost a couple of games this season. Obviously, Kansas State, now we know they're not the cream of the crop of that Big 12 conference. And with with a win tonight, BYU would clinch that conference championship game. So it would be between Arizona State, Iowa State, and Colorado for that last spot. But really quick, I just wanted to touch on the fact Kansas State defense has been pretty bad. Obviously, we know in the first half they gave up those 3 touchdowns to go down 21-0. Well, last game they played on November 2nd in Houston against the Houston Cougars, they gave up 14 in the fourth quarter. They only scored 3 in the second half. They ended up losing that game 24-19. So they went 6 quarters giving up they gave up 5 touchdowns, and they did not score more than 3 points. This is a team who is on a really, really bad streak right now, and thankfully for them, ASU had a really bad second half. They kind of stopped going. They took their foot off the pedal a little bit, but this is a Kansas State team that really has to look inwardly. They were one of the favorites for the college football playoff at the beginning of the season, and now they're probably, if they're ranked, they're at 25th. There's no way they're going to be ranked higher than that.
Yeah, and I think if you're an ASU fan, you got to be rooting for a BYU loss today for 2 reasons, right? It's the fact that one, and they both relate to the same team here in Colorado. Colorado is an easy schedule to finish out. They have Kansas and Oklahoma State, right? Both of those should be, I think we can all agree, wins for Colorado. The second part is not even on the Shedeur side and that insane offense. Defensively, right? What's been the one go-to weapon for Sam Levitt? It's been Jordan Tyson, right? And Colorado has got arguably the best corner in all of college football.
Probably the Heisman.
Maybe second if you want to put Will Johnson ahead of him. Yep. But could be first, and in my opinion, the best corner in all of college football, and Travis Hunter. That's got to be a scary thought in your head to kind of have Tyson on Travis Hunter. I think you'd much rather the safer route. BYU lose, you beat BYU, and you're in.
Yeah, no, I agree. Colorado, they are probably the hottest team in the Big 12. I wouldn't say the best. I think BYU is still the best team, even though that they haven't looked as dominant as they did before. But yeah, no, Coach Prime, he's doing his thing, proving a lot of the doubters wrong because there was so much hype going into the year, and so with hype comes haters. He's proven a lot of the haters wrong, so I can't really be mad at Colorado.
Yeah, and I think, the biggest thing about Travis Hunter to me is, he's probably the best DB in the country. He'll lock down Jordan Tyson should they match up. Oh, by the way, the very next play, he could easily beat one of these DBs for Arizona State deep down the field, and Shedeur Sanders has got the arm to get it to him. I think when you have a guy like Travis Hunter who will take a guy out on defense, that's it. Jordan Tyson is no longer part of that game plan in this fictional Big 12 championship. And then, oh, by the way, he's right back on the field on offense, running every route in the route tree. He is a complete package at wide receiver and defensive back.
Yeah, not to mention Jimmy Horn there as well, and then Shepard too. I mean, their offense as a whole is just, and then LaJohntay Webster as well. It's unbelievable how stacked this team is.
Yeah, and really quick, we got next week, it's going to be a day game against BYU here in Tempe at Mountain America Stadium. That's going to be a massive, massive game for Arizona State history. If you can get this W at Mountain America Stadium, you get all this momentum into the Territorial Cup against a really, really not good team this year in Arizona. That could mean a lot of good things for that ASU team, especially if BYU loses tonight. They lose next week in Tempe. It could be a lot of good things happening for the Sun Devils very soon.
And it's homecoming weekend. Should be packed. We have alumni coming back, students, staff, all that. But that is a wrap for today's post-game show. I'm Dominic Pasella.
I'm Will Anderson.
And I'm Ashton Sharon.
And we'll see you guys next week.
See y'all.